Honestly, when's the last time you thought about this unit? I'll wait. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's been a while, I'm sure. Well, that's what this channel exists for, is showcases of outdated or forgotten units that are dusting away in the player's deck, and just bring them back to life a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. For whatever reason, I think it's just general curiosity of trying to figure out how these guys would perform with you know, the max level links. And ultimately, I did this, I don't know, probably a month or so ago, and maxed out their, you know, links to level 10. I actually didn't come across testing out the units up until fairly recently. I just simply forgot about the fact that I actually grinded their links, and you know, here we are. But let's just talk about the unit. And before we do that, it's a matter of time, I think, before the easy A's for these guys happen. Obviously, we've had easy A's for the LRs happen fairly, you know, recently. Even like the free-to-play with the LR Hercule, you know, happened not too long ago and stuff like that. So, you know, these guys are coming up pretty soon, I'm sure, at some point, maybe within the next 6 to 8 months or whatnot. But I mean, these guys are really old units. I didn't realize how old the units actually were until I, you know, looked at the release date information on Dokkan Wiki. I'm looking at it right now, and the release date for these guys were September 15, 2016 on JP, and then January 25th, 2017 on the global side. So close to 5 years already. You know, it's just crazy how time flies with you know, Dokkan Battle. It just, I wouldn't say it seemed like yesterday, but it didn't seem like almost 5 years ago since they came out, so that kind of puts it in perspective a little bit. Again, the silver lining to this is at some point in the near future down the road, I would imagine these guys would get an easy A, and hopefully the improvements are somewhat, you know, respectable. I'm not expecting, you know, the stats or improvements to be ridiculous or anything, but just modest improvements, and I think that's, you know, the best you can ask for. So let's go ahead and talk about the unit's current skill sets with the you know, state of what the card is right now. Leader skills, all types key +4. Super attacks 12 key, causes colossal damage to enemy, and then the 18 key super attack will cause mega colossal damage to enemy and also lowers attack and defense. I would imagine with the easy A, they'll probably improve, you know, the stats, at the very least 18 key super attack. I would hope they would, you know, increase that to greatly lower attack and defense and whatnot. I think the passive skill really hurts this unit too, because it is a flat increase rate, like attack increase of 15,000 when performing a super attack. So again, hopefully they modify this to some sort of percentage-based increase, and, you know, tack on maybe some defensive boost or whatnot, or criteria based on, you know, future categories. They get an extra boost or whatever the case is. So maybe against I don't know, Gohan units or whatever. But we'll see what happens when the easy 8 actually happens. All right. Link skills, infinite energy at level 10, key +2, attack, defense, and chance of performing a critical hit increased by 5%. Innocence is an attack increase of 15%. Twin Terrors, key +2, attack, defense, and chance of evading enemies' attack, including supers, increase of 5%. Nightmares is attack increase of 15%. Fear and Faith is all enemies, defense minus 10% and key +2. Shocking Speed is key +2 and defense increase of 5%. Of course, Legendary Power, attack increase of 15% when performing a super attack. Decent amount of categories. I wouldn't say it's great, but androids, joins forces, siblings bond, androids sell Saga, and target Goku. So I mean, it's enough to work with, you know what I mean? And it's not abundant, but you can get by with it basically. Now for the stats at 100% potential, you're looking at HP of 17,800, attack increase of 18,100, defense is at 12,500, and then 12 key multipliers to 130%, whereas the 24 key multiplier is 200%. And again, you know, it's almost it's crazy how time flies with this unit. I remember, you know, not too long ago. I wouldn't say it feels like yesterday, but it definitely didn't feel like 5 years ago. But you know, going through the friend banner summons, trying to get copies of the unit, grinding through the medals, and of course, you know, at some point we got a legendary campaign for these units and whatnot. So, you know, again, like I would say within the next potentially 6 to 8 months, we'll probably see an easy A for these units. And again, I'm not expecting crazy increases or improvements to these guys. I think as long as it's, you know, modest and respectable, I think that's, you know, all there is to it to ask for. So we'll see what happens ultimately. I do not know what the schedule is. You know, ultimately it's down to the development team to decide when they want to roll out what. I'm sure they already have this, like, you know, planned out with what sort of potential improvements they're looking at or whatever. So it's just a matter of time. Now, in terms of like the team builds, ultimately I went with I guess the first set of footage, I went with the MVP 17 lead on my end, and then brought in the physical type LR Android's friend lead, and then I think a couple of clips toward the end, I basically ran a double lead MVP 17 setup. And in terms of like the units included on the team, the physical type LR Androids, they actually link pretty well with these units. Of course, they provide support as well to the unit, so it helps out in that regard. I really didn't want to do this, but I included the Trenchcoat 17. I gotta tell you, he's the bane of my existence. I really hate that unit because I feel like this unit shows up on banners more than any other unit in the game for whatever reason. I don't know. That guy isn't rainbowed. I actually thought about potentially rainbowing the unit just because of, I don't know, maybe the guy will bother me a lot less if I just go through the process of rainbowing the unit, you know what I mean? And maybe link level the unit as well. Maybe he'll leave me alone after that. We'll see. But I don't know. If you're interested in that, let me know. Maybe I can start working on it. But the point being, that guy actually links up pretty well with the free-to-play LR Androids. Now, the only issue is he's not, I haven't put any work into potential systems, so he's very weak right now, but he also does provide decent enough support with the passive skill toward the free-to-play Androids, so I threw him on there even though I didn't necessarily want to, but I don't know. It's just, it made team building a little bit easier, so that's where I'll put it, I guess. But I don't know, like at some point these guys' EZAs will happen. It's just a matter of when. I hope, at the very least, a decent improvements given to them, and they'll probably slap on some additional passive skill settings where maybe based on certain category criteria or against certain units they'll get an extra buff. I wouldn't imagine them to get extremely good. I think it'll be more or less just just modest improvements. I think that's all I would ask for at this point for these units, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much where I stand with that. I don't know if you have any thoughts as to like what you would want to see, certainly let me know in the comments, and hopefully we can get a lively conversation going. But yeah, it's just funny that even after going through the link level process to get these guys to level 10 links, I just completely forgot about these units for like a good month and a half probably, and that kind of suggests the current state of these units, right? I don't think many people really thought or think about these units right now. I mean, it's just, they're forgotten, and even if you went through the process of, maxing them out at 100% potential and, whatever, I feel like most players probably rarely use these units because, even on the relevant categories they're on, there's a lot better options ultimately at the end of the day. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least. My expectations are wide open. I'm pretty much completely open-minded to what they end up doing down the road. I mean, at this point, I rarely use these guys, and I mean, like I said, even after leveling up their links, I still don't use them. So that kind of suggests to you, what kind of unit it actually is right now in this state of Dokkan battle, but. Again, opportunities are opportunities. The upside is EZAs for LRs is actually a thing now, and that's going to be a good thing for a lot of these older units. And along with that, the link skill level system also does greatly help out some of these older units because, as you remember, before the update actually happened, a lot of these units, especially the older ones, they had links that were pretty much terrible. Those links didn't really have good improvements, and a lot of them were flat increases, like for example, I don't know, attack increase of 500 or defense increase of 300 or whatever the case is. But now because of that improvement, it's become a lot better, and that's why you're seeing a pretty significant improvement on some of the stats, especially from an attack standpoint. Defense, I think from what I saw, they capped off at around like 80k maybe with the double androids they were closer to 100k. I don't know, we'll see here in a second. I don't know if I guess I actually didn't show it here, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean they need all the help they can get because otherwise they're still going to struggle quite a bit. Now, I went through the Infinite Dragon Ball History Stage 1 and they did okay from a defensive standpoint, but I feel like with the tougher battle situations, yeah, they're going to be a pretty huge liability in my opinion, because again, like their passive skill is a flat attack increase of 15,000 after or when performing a super attack, so you're not really seeing any sort of defensive increase. So you know, hopefully with the modifications coming up with the EZA, that'll happen. They'll give them some sort of defensive boost, maybe like a crit or additional attack chance based on, facing against certain types of categories or certain types of units. I think that would most likely happen in my opinion. That would be my guess, but let me know in the comments what you think. And also, when's the last time you actually used this unit? Because it's been a while for me, and I don't know, maybe that's partially or majority of the reason why I wanted to link level their links, or level up their links, I should say, is because of how forgotten they actually are. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys actually use these guys on a more frequent basis than I do. I certainly don't, but if you do, let me know, and it's all good or whatever. So that's where I'll conclude the commentary for that, I guess. But we'll see what happens down the road with these units. Hopefully they get some pretty good buffs, and we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, this is ultimately the showcase that I forgot about, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, this is the 100% potential free-to-play AGL Android 17 and 18 at level 10 links. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video as always. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. I got a couple of oddball unit showcases coming up, so certainly stay tuned for that. Alright, with that being said, I'll go ahead and close out here. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Alright, peace out.